Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation. I'm V. Rajamohan, the librarian here. Today, we're excited to introduce you to Marudhu Pandiyar. This is the first slide, so I just want to give you a quick overview of what's to come. We'll be exploring the history and significance of Marudhu Pandiyar and why he's an important figure. So, let's get started and dive into this fascinating story. Today, I want to introduce you to the Marudhu Pandiyar, specifically Periya Marudhu and Chinna Marudhu, who played a crucial role in the history of Tamil Nadu. These two brothers were essentially the de facto rulers of Sivaganga towards the late 18th century. What makes them particularly significant is their fierce resistance against the British East India Company, which was expanding its control across India at that time. Their leadership and bravery symbolize the spirit of rebellion and struggle for independence that we are exploring in this presentation. Their fight against the British highlights the broader themes of resistance and resilience during a period of colonial expansion. Let's talk about their childhood now. Periya and Chinna Marudhu were the sons of Mukhaya Palaniappan Servai, who was a native of Mukkulam, a small village near Narakuti. This place is about 18 miles away from Arapukatai, so it was quite a rural setting. Their mother, Anandai, also known as Panathal, was from Puduppady, which is near Sivaganga. Both brothers were born in Mukkulam, with Periya Marudhu, the elder, born in 1748, and Chinna Marudhu, the younger, born in 1753. Their names, Periya and Chinna, mean big and small in Tamil, signifying their stature and importance in history. Understanding their humble beginnings helps us see how these early roots shaped their character and later actions. Their childhood in rural Tamil Nadu laid the foundation for their strong sense of identity and commitment to their community, themes that will become even clearer as we move forward in the story. Gopal Nayakar was a king from Virupachi, and he played a significant role during this turbulent period. Muthuvaduganatha Thevar, who was the husband of Queen Velu Nachiyar, was also a key figure in this story. In 1772, the British East India Company took a drastic action. They killed Muthuvaduganatha Thevar because he refused to pay the taxes they demanded. This was a bold stand against colonial authority and showed the resistance of local rulers. Despite this loss, Queen Velu Nachiyar and Marudhu Pandiyar managed to escape and found refuge with Gopal Nayakar in Virupachi. They stayed there for about 8 years, gathering strength and planning their next move. This period was crucial because it kept their leadership alive even under difficult circumstances. Then, in 1789, an alliance of kingdoms, led by the Pandiyar brothers, launched an attack on Sivaganga. This attack was successful. They retook the territory, restoring their sovereignty. As part of this victory, both Maruthu Pandiyar were appointed to high positions within the kingdom, reinforcing their leadership and authority. This chapter highlights the resilience and strategic alliances that kept the fight for independence alive, even after setbacks like the killing of Muthuvaduganatha Thevar. It shows how unity among local kingdoms was essential in resisting colonial pressures and reclaiming their land and dignity. Today, I want to highlight the fascinating connection between Valari and guerrilla warfare. The Valari, which was invented by the Maruthu Pandiyars, is a remarkable weapon, kind of a variant of the boomerang. What makes it even more interesting is that the Pandiyars weren't just skilled in aerodynamics and craftsmanship. They also pioneered guerrilla warfare tactics in India during the early days of colonization. This combination of technological innovation and strategic combat methods played a crucial role in resisting larger colonial forces. It really shows how ingenuity and adaptability can turn the tide in difficult circumstances, tying into our broader theme of resilience and strategic innovation in history. Today, I want to talk about the Sivaganga kingdom and its fascinating history under the leadership of Rani Velu Nachiyar. The kingdom was originally ruled by a branch of the Marava royal family from Ramnad, which played a significant role in the region's history. Rani Velu Nachiyar, a remarkable queen, took charge until 1790, demonstrating incredible leadership and resilience. Her rule is a key part of our overall story because it highlights the strength and independence of women leaders during that era. So, when we think about the legacy of Sivaganga, it's impossible not to emphasize her impact and the lasting influence she had on the kingdom's history. After the death of Velu Nachiyar, the Maruthu brothers took charge of the Sivaganga kingdom. Their rule lasted from 1790 to 1801, and during this period, they played a crucial role in resisting colonial and regional powers. They successfully fought battles against the Nawab of Arcot, who was trying to assert control over the region, as well as against the British, who were expanding their influence in India. Their leadership and bravery made them prominent figures in the history of resistance against foreign domination. This chapter highlights how local rulers like the Maruthu brothers stood up for their kingdom's independence, which ties into the larger theme of regional resistance against colonial rule. Today, I want to discuss a critical moment in the struggle against the East India Company. The war leader, along with his family members, was captured, marking a significant turning point. The Marudhu Pandiyars, who were key figures in planning to wage war against the British, had taken steps to protect their allies, such as Umaithurai Kumaraswamy, who was temporarily seeking refuge amidst the chaos of war. However, despite these efforts, the British forces managed to capture the war leader, along with Sivaganga and many of their family members, at Cholapuram. Tragically, this led to their execution at Tirupattur. This event underscores the intense resistance and sacrifices made during this period, and it connects to the broader theme of rebellion against colonial rule. It reminds us of the personal and collective sacrifices in the fight for independence. Now, moving on to a somber but significant moment in our history. The Marudhu brothers, who played a crucial role in the fight against British rule, were ultimately captured and sentenced to death. They were hanged at the fort of Tirupattur, an area that is now part of Sivaganga district in Tamil Nadu. This happened on the 24th of October, 1801. Their execution marked a tragic end to their brave resistance, but it also served to inspire future generations to continue the struggle for freedom. Their sacrifice underscores the deep-rooted spirit of rebellion and resilience that characterizes this chapter of our history. Today, I want to talk about the place where the Marudhu brothers met their tragic end. They were hanged to death in Tirupattur, which is now part of the Sivaganga district in Tamil Nadu. This happened on the 24th of October, 1801. Their execution marked a significant moment in the history of resistance against colonial rule. It's important to remember that their sacrifice was driven by their fight for justice and independence. Their story is a powerful reminder of the courage and resilience of those who stood up against oppression. This event also ties into the larger narrative of their role in inspiring future generations to continue the struggle for freedom. The memorial square of Maruthu Pandiyars is located at Kalayarkal, which is a significant site honoring their legacy. This square serves as a reminder of their courageous efforts and sacrifices. Additionally, in October 2004, a commemorative postage stamp was issued to honor Marudhu Pandiyars. This stamp not only celebrates their historical importance, but also helps keep their memory alive in the public consciousness. These gestures, like the memorial square and the stamp, are part of how we recognize and preserve the contributions of these legendary freedom fighters. They remind us of the enduring spirit of resistance and patriotism that is central to our history and culture. On December 15, 2007, a significant event took place in Tamil Nadu's history. Dr. Kalainar M. Karunanithy, who was the chief minister at that time, inaugurated a remarkable monument. It was a 10-foot bronze sculpture of the legendary Marudhu Pandiyars. These brave warriors are celebrated for their valor and leadership in Tamil history. The sculpture depicts them holding swords, symbolizing their courage and fighting spirit. They are shown mounted on a horse, facing the Madurai Mariamman Thepakulam, a prominent temple tank in Madurai. This moment was not just about unveiling a statue. It was about honoring our rich heritage and the fearless spirit of our heroes. It connects to our overall theme of remembering and celebrating Tamil Nadu's glorious past and the heroes who shaped it. Every year, we come together to celebrate the Guru Puja of Maruthu Pandiyars. This important event takes place at their memorial in Kalyarkal, and it falls on October 27th. It's a day that holds great significance for the local community and the history they cherish. Interestingly, this day is also recognized as a public holiday, but only in the Sivaganga district. This highlights how deeply rooted the legacy of the Maruthu Pandiyars is in this region. Celebrating their contributions and remembering their sacrifices helps us understand the importance of leadership and patriotism, which ties back to our overall theme of honoring our history and heroes.